Well, it was another Tuesday, and so, yes, it was time for another episode of The Flash. And this episode's title was The Temptation of Barry Allen, Part 1. Oh, yeah, that Part 1 will give you a clue about how this will end. Yeah. Well, it seems as we left off from our last episode, Ramsey showed up and attacked Elongated Man. And they fought and stuff, and you had some kind of crappy CGI, but what do you expect? It's a TV show, so they did the best they could. Seems that Ramsey can match Elongated Man's stretchy powers with his black oil goop. Anyway, so they fight it out and stuff, and then, Ramsey gets the best of Elongated Man and fills him full of his black goop, and so this makes him sick when he pulls it back out of him, and I guess that really messed up his guts. I don't know. So they bring him over to Star Lab where they work to save him, and Killer Frost doesn't know what to do, so she turns back into Caitlin. Yeah, that whole thing, which I never really liked. But anyway, Caitlin, she's a doctor, so she knows what to do. So she works to save him, but then, oh no, she can't. But they need the Flash to give him a blood transfusion because his Flash powers gives him speed healing. So they shoot him up with Barry's blood with a transfusion, and it works. And then Barry goes home, gets sick, and collapses into a dream world because he's infected with the black oily goop. And Ramsey is now trying to take him over. And as a result, because Ramsey is connected to every little bit of his black goop self, now knows who Barry Allen really is. Yeah. Who? Oh, he's the Flash. Yeah. So he finds out about that. Then he discovers that the Flash is all obsessed about his impending doom because now apparently the crisis is only 2 days away. So with his zombie powers, he says, "Hey, Flash, I can keep you alive." So he's tempting him with that. But Barry's mommy shows up. Well, not really his mommy. It's the Speed Force in the form of his mother telling him, "Oh no, Barry, you're infected with this goop. And if you don't fight it, you'll be taken over by, Ramsey." So Ramsey's telling him, yeah, you can live on and survive all this crap, and you can live to see your daughter, Nora. Yeah, Nora makes an appearance. No, not really, just her infant form. And he says, "Oh no, I'm going to give all this up." And he's struggling to fight, and they have all these creepy nightmare scenes and all that sort of stuff. And he eventually, Ramsey convinces him that the Speed Force is... the Speed Force actually screws this up. So she's telling him all this stuff, and he says, well, Ramsey says he can keep me alive. Is that true? And she said, "Oh, yeah, he could." He's like, well, what the hell? And so he gets mad and he says, "Hey, I didn't choose to be the Flash. You did this to me." And of course, if he had never been the Flash, there never would have been the Reverse Flash, who came from the future to travel back in time and kill Barry's mother. So all of this crap never would have happened if he hadn't been the Flash. So yeah, it's a good point to be made, huh? Yeah. So he's about to give in. But meanwhile, Cisco and Caitlin, or Killer Frost, find that Barry is sick, collapsed on his floor, and they bring him back to Star Labs to fix him or cure him, what have you. And Cisco figures, we need to give him a shot of that Flash drug that one of the other speedsters, I forget who, used. And he zips on back there, not at super speed, but at human speed. And at the last possible second, he injects Barry with the shot, electrifies him with his Flash power, and he wakes up and everything seems fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, we saved Barry. How about that, huh? Meanwhile, if you've been wondering why Iris seems to be just getting along with life and pursuing stories and all this sort of thing, and she teams up with Allegra, who has found out, thanks to Nash Wells, that Barry is indeed the Flash. And she also stumbles upon the headline that the Flash will disappear, that Iris knows she's going to have to write. And eventually, they're going after whatever the criminal conspiracy was that involved Allegra's sister and corrupted her and all this sort of stuff. But Allegra can't be bothered with that because she's like, holy crap, your husband's the Flash. And so Iris is in denial. She can't face the impending doom of her husband, now only 2 days away. Boy, how does she do it? But at least this gives some explanation for that, because it seems like both Barry and Iris were in denial a while back because they kept doing these goofy little lines and stuff. Yeah, that's not going to work when, you're going to be dead in 2 days. So anyway, she finally breaks and says, yeah, I know, I don't want to face it, and I'm just, happy. So she's hoping against hope that there's some kind of way to avoid it, of course. Hasn't really accepted it. But, so, this is the deal, and she gets the message that Barry's sick, so she heads over to Star Labs, and they say, oh, well, we managed to save him, everything's fine. But Barry's acting very strangely. Gee, I wonder why. Yes, that's right. Now you know why it's only part 1. Because Ramsey won the battle. He's infected Barry, and Barry... apparently when you get infected by Ramsey, your eyes turn black, and you have very, very bad teeth. His whole mouth is black. And so now when he uses his flash powers... the lightning is all, it's like black with a little white glow around it. And so, of course, he's Dark Flash now, what have you. And, he just knocks all, Caitlin and, Killer Frost and, Cisco and Iris to the floor and zooms off to go kneel before Ramsey. Yeah. Ramsey's not looking so great. But he thinks he's on his way to becoming God. And he says, this is the only way to save the world, Barry, because now everyone will just basically, be him. So that's where it ends. Yes. So, better than the filler they had before. And I'm not sure if Ramsey would have any involvement with what happens in the crisis. I mean, actually, he asks him, did you ever see me in any of the possible futures he had seen before? And he said no. So... I'm guessing that this Ramsey story comes to an end pretty quick, and then you go off into the crisis next month. So, yeah, better than the last one because it was a filler episode, and kind of ties up some somewhat mistakes of how their emotions are, and just says, well, they're in denial about his impending doom and all this sort of thing. And so there you are, the temptation of Barry Allen. Just, hey, you want to live? Yeah, okay. So, there it is. And, it stands to reason, and it also makes the point that, the Speed Force really screwed him over. I mean, sure, Ramsey's a bad guy now, but, yeah, can't argue the point, can you? Anyway, so there you go. And since it's a two-parter, we'll have to see how the part 2 resolves this. Well, somehow, some way he'll win, but fight it, Barry, fight it in the name of love. So it's something like that, it's usually how that goes. And he'll probably have to vibrate himself so much that the Ramsey goop stuff comes out of him, So there you go, unless he just goes and takes a dump, and then there you're fine. Something like that. But we don't want to see that. So probably, the vibrating it out, something. And the power of love will inspire him to do it. That's usually how that goes. And then we're off to the races for Crisis on Infinite Earths. And we'll see how that turns out. Boy, oh boy, I hope it's at least adequate, because usually the crossovers are just awful. So, but this is the big moment since the beginning of the Flash show that he's been leading up to this crisis deal, So, hopefully they do a better job than the previous ones, but so far, they really haven't. Still, Flash is the best they've got. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. There's also a link to my podcast, the Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com, that has new episodes of Night Night, Sun King, Bubba Stargone, and a whole new series called Bear and Void. All that stuff, which will eventually end up as videos too one day. But first, they premiere on the Mr Nailsin Show. And you might as well check out my channel on BitChute, because, boy, speaking of crisis, huh? Who knows if YouTube will be a friendly platform. It's already in pretty bad shape at the moment, and I just don't know. So, BitChute, check it out. Thank you for watching and listening again. We'll do it again soon. Bye-bye.